Hello everyone, my name is Kwan. I am from the Center for the Promotion of Knowledge and Language Learning, University of Malaysia, Sabah. So a warm greetings to everyone who attends our International Symposium for today. I'm very excited to introduce to you my topic for the presentation today, which is enhancing employability skills among agriculture undergraduates, a descriptive study on my English for Employment course. So without further ado, let's look at the overview of my presentation for today.
Here's the overview of my presentation. There are altogether 8 contents.
First is the introduction. In today's competitive job market, employability skills have become essential, especially for university graduates. These are not just technical abilities, but also include communication, adaptability, and professionalism, the key qualities that help graduates secure and succeed in their first jobs. This highlights a growing responsibility for universities to go beyond academic knowledge and prepare students with the practical, workplace-ready skills that employers expect. Although agriculture students often graduate with strong technical knowledge, many still face challenges when it comes to job seeking. They struggle with things like resume writing, interviews, and meeting industry expectations, largely due to limited exposure to real-world recruitment processes. To address this gap, the English for Employment course was introduced, a 14-week program designed to build employability through practical, real-world tasks. This study has 2 main objectives. First, to explore students' experiences across the 4 course assessments. And second, to evaluate how effective the course was in improving the job readiness. Moving on to the next content, methodology. To understand the learning outcomes of the English for Employment course, we used a qualitative descriptive approach. A variety of data sources were analyzed, including their resumes and cover letters, video recordings of group meetings and project-based HR interviews, group project reports, and individual reflections. The analysis focused on identifying key themes around skill development, course impact, and students' perceptions of their readiness for employment. The study involved 8 second-year agriculture students from a public university in Sabah, 6 female and 2 male, all with advanced English proficiency. All participants completed the full 14-week course and gave consent for their materials to be used for academic research. Now let's look at how the course is implemented and the assessment design. Assessment 1. Resume and cover letter. The first task required students to identify a relevant job advertisement, then craft a customized resume and cover letter. This assessment emphasized the importance of targeted skills and professional presentation. Students were guided to search for job advertisements relevant to their field of study and draft tailored resumes and cover letters. Most selected roles in agricultural technology, estate, farm, plantation management, R&D and agribusiness, which reflected their academic background. Followed by Assessment 2, a mock job interview. It simulated a real job interview environment, conducted individually according to the job positions they've applied for in Assessment 1. The mock interview served as a practical platform to bridge the theoretical understanding and real-world expectations. Each student was evaluated based on their verbal responses, body language, preparation and professionalism. Assessment 3 is a project-based learning, where students are required to conduct an interview with a real human resource professional. It consisted 3 components in this project. First is planning meeting to draft out the questions, second is the interview session, and lastly, to produce a group report. Each student was responsible for 2 or more open-ended questions. After the interview, each group compiled their insights into a formal report, including visual evidence and a recommendation section. This assessment bridged academic learning with real-world industry perspectives. The last assessment students need to complete in this course is the individual project reflection. Students submit reflective essays at the end of the semester to critically analyze their roles in the project in terms of team dynamics, challenges faced, and future career implications. Students' reflections served as a powerful tool for self-evaluation and allowed them to critically assess their development. Next, Let me now share one of the key findings related to skills acquisition. All students showed improvement in technical writing, particularly in creating customized resumes and cover letters. Many started with little understanding of formatting or how to showcase their achievements, but through feedback and revision, their final submissions were much more professional and targeted. They also learned how to connect their academic background to real job roles. The first assessment helped students better analyze job descriptions, reflect on their strengths, and market themselves effectively. As a result, they gained a stronger sense of personal identity and learned to present their experiences in a job-ready format. Mock interviews further enhanced their skills. While many were nervous at first, practice and feedback helped them move away from memorized answers toward more natural, confident responses. They learned key aspects of professional etiquette, like body language, tone, attire, and how to research employers and anticipate interview questions. Lastly, during the HR interview assessment, students practiced conducting interviews themselves. This boosted the professional communication skills and interpersonal confidence. They also learned to create formal documents like meeting notices, minutes, and emails, all essential for workplace readiness. The second key finding is increased self-awareness. Through their individual reflections, students gained a clearer understanding of both their strengths and areas for improvements. Improved confidence is another key finding. Structured preparation, from professional dress codes to printed application materials, helped students feel more prepared for interviews. At first, anxiety was common, but with practice, their communication skills improved, including eye contact, tone, and body language. By the end, students felt more confident about their career paths and more capable of navigating the job market. Finally, the HR interview project offered valuable industry insights. Students engaged directly with HR professionals, asking questions like, "What do you look at first on a resume? What skills matter most when hiring fresh graduates? How can horticulture students stand out in unrelated fields?" These conversations highlighted the importance of soft skills like adaptability, communication, and teamwork, reinforcing earlier lessons. One study by Suchi and Kanovi, 2019, also supports this, showing that soft skills significantly enhance employability. For students, this interview experience was not only insightful but also helped sharpen their teamwork, critical thinking, and real-world communication skills. Ultimately, hearing directly from professionals gave students a clearer understanding of employer expectations and current industry trends, which is especially valuable as they prepare to enter the workforce. In conclusion, the English for Employment course offered agriculture undergraduates a practical and well-rounded approach to developing essential employability skills. Through tasks like resume writing, mock interviews, industry engagement, and reflection, students built not only their communication skills, but also their confidence and career readiness. This study shows that English courses, when designed with real-world relevance, can do much more than teach grammar. They help shape professional identity, build self-efficacy, and prepare students for today's job market. Ultimately, this course provided a safe yet realistic space for students to grow, both professionally and personally. Based on the study's findings, I suggest 4 key recommendations to further strengthen the course. First, increase industry collaboration. Involving more professionals or companies can give students deeper insights into real hiring expectations and trends. Second, integrate digital literacy. For example, adding LinkedIn profile building alongside resume and email writing to improve online job-seeking skills. Third, consider adopting similar project-based English modules across the institution, especially those focused on employment readiness. And finally, include brief reflective exercises after each task to help students consolidate their learning throughout the course.
All right, before I end my presentation for today, let me show you some of my students' work. So you can see here, there are 3 examples of cover letters and another 3 examples of resume. Okay, So as you can see, they are designing the resume in the correct format, correct alignment, arrangements, and then they know how to customize their resume and cover letter according to the job position applied. So they are actually really good at searching for a job position which is related to their background of studies, and then they were able to promote themselves, okay, tell them how good they are, and then their qualifications, and then they know how to highlight their strength in the cover letter and also the resume.
Right. Other than that, not only cover letter and resume, at the end of the semester, they are also good at composing email. Okay, now they know how to write a formal email, okay, not only to the instructor, but also to the employer, okay, potential employer in the future. And also they know how to prepare for a meeting. So before the meeting, they have to come up with the notice of meeting. So they know how to compose it, how to write it with the correct format in English. And after the meeting, okay, they also know how to produce a meeting minutes in English. So you can see here the format is totally correct, and then their language is nicely arranged, and then they know how to do attachment, they know how to do the greetings, and so on. Okay, all right, this is one of the recordings of the group meeting. Okay, so as you can see here, the recording is almost 1 hour. So my students, after they enroll into this English for Employment course, they're actually good at conducting meeting. Okay, this meeting is totally in English, no other languages. Okay, they also know how to go with the flow of the meeting. Okay, and then they also know what are their roles, what they need to do, what they need to present, how to give feedback, how to start a meeting, how to end a meeting. And then my role in this meeting is to supervise and guide them whenever there are some mistakes or they are not doing it correctly. Okay, so they're actually doing a great job in the whole meeting.
For all. So that would be the technical and media exam. So before we go into that, we can discuss about the business. So feel free to let me know.
This is the recording for assessment 3, where my students conducted an interview with a real HR manager. And in this case, they have contacted IOI Plantations in Remberhard, okay, because my students are agriculture students. So this is closely related to them. So they actually learn a lot through this assessment. For example, before the day of the interview, they need to make sure that the questions are nicely compiled. They have to make sure it's grammar error free, okay? And then they also need to ask a lot of relevant questions, especially for fresh graduates and also for future employer. Okay, so through this entire interview they actually learn a lot, okay, what the future employer expects from fresh graduates, what do they need to prepare, what do they look into when they hire fresh graduates, especially in the field of agriculture. Not only that, during the interview they also learn how to start an interview, okay, with the correct way, because this is they are having interview with other agency, another institution, another organization, okay, so they are representing UMS, so they need to do it correctly. All right, so they need to make sure there is no technical issues during the interview, and then they need to end it nicely, and then they need to make sure the recording is on during the interview, and after the interview they need to come up with the report. Okay, they need to write up, reflect what they have learned for the entire interview. And then, not forgetting, the interview is in English. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few seconds of the recording of the interview. Uh, that actually takes around 1 hour, but I'm just going to show you a few seconds to see, to let you see how they conducted the interview with the HR personnel.
Question is, what do you personally look at first when reviewing a resume?
Answer the question, what I personally look for would be, of course, the qualification and then the experience.
Well, that marks the end of my presentation for today's symposium. I really hope you enjoy it. And if you have any question, do not hesitate to email me. You can see my email address on the right side of the slide, or you can also leave your message at the message column below, and then I'll try my best to answer to all your questions. And bye.